Well. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another video. And we're racing. We're not in the shop. We're not unboxing things. We're not part reviewing. We are frickin' racing. And it hasn't felt any better. What a way to start the 2025 year with Kyle Stanley and the 54X at Marysville Raceway Park. The track was good for the first race. Felt really great to dip my toes back in the water with the wing on. I felt like I had a couple things I could work on, and Kyle was definitely there supporting me the whole time and the whole crew, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity to get it going again. And man, I've missed making these. This is more my speed. I'm not really a shop guy, but let's get into it. So, going out for qualifying, we had a little bit of an issue. If you guys are familiar with my Facebook, I posted on what happened. We stripped out a power steering pump. Give Andy a little nice thumbs up. Nice lap, buddy. And now it's my turn. The motor was a little cold, so it's leaking out a little bit too much oil. But yeah, other than that, let's just hold it wide open and get this lap going. The track was a little greasy, so it was definitely unique. And I'm not a big grease guy. If you guys are familiar with this channel, I hate the grease. It's just not my thing. I either feel like I'm lifting too much or I'm standing on it too much and I'm not going anywhere and I'm just buzzing the tires. So I kind of drove it in a little hard on the first lap, and it felt like I would push up the racetrack. So on this lap, I lifted a little earlier and tried to keep my foot in a happy medium, and I got a little tight because I felt like I wasn't on the gas as much. But then on the off lap right here, I kind of did another happy medium just to try and feel out the grease a little bit more, and that kind of felt the best. And I kind of kept it through the middle right there on the entry of 3, and that felt like that would have really stuck and really been a banger of a lap. But you know, it's qualifying, you only get 2 laps, and now it's heat race time. We started third, but there was a little bit of a debacle and got a little chaotic, and no one was really paying attention or listening. But that's it's the first race, so we'll give everyone a little bit of a break. And started fourth. I tried to open up my entry as much as possible to kind of get the arc and the cut down because the bottom was really greasy. I could feel it really big time on my pedal. Like the more I would lay into it, the more the ass end would just kick out, and that just wasn't fast. So right now, I know I'm comfortably in second, and I'm still just trying to get my feet back in it. I'm trying to get comfortable in the water, let everything acclimate, and I feel like after a couple laps, I got the chance to breathe. I got more warm in the car, and now I feel like I'm starting to plug away at it, and I'm using my brain. I'm trying to keep my hands smooth. Like right there, that was a good corner, and I'm learning to keep my foot in a position, drive it in hard to the apex, and maintain my foot posture. So that way, like in 1 and 2, Marysville's a little tricky. Like it's kind of a hairpin, so you want to drive it in really deep, but not like 3 and 4. You can carry so much speed right there, and the wing does so much for you in 3 and 4 in Marysville. Whereas 1 and 2, you want to recall it earlier and drive it to the apex, and then just carry out the rest of the speed. And now we're starting to pick off better laps, and we're really starting to reel in Nick. And as we're doing that, I'm getting more confident in the car. I'm putting my foot a little bit deeper into it, into 1 and 2. Whereas, I mean by deeper, I'm just not lifting as much, and I'm keeping my foot 3/4 or 5/8 instead of 3/4, and I'm just keep on playing with that and keeping it going. Whereas then with 3 and 4, I'm just driving it in harder and cracking the throttle later because it's more of a sweeping corner, I feel like. And Marysville's kind of a D shape. And then kind of a last-ditch effort, tried to sneak underneath Nick right there, but it was just straight grease on the bottom, so that was not a good decision, and that'll bite me later in the feature too. But the mud did not really agree with the GoPro in the feature. But you know what? I kind of know what went on because I was there in the cockpit, and yeah. Same thing for the start. The bottom was just straight grease, so the top got the best start. And then same with 1 and 2. I didn't really want to move up. It's the first race. Everyone's kind of getting back into the swing of things. So I didn't want to be too aggressive on the start. I just wanted to maintain and kind of let the race unfold and come to me. And right there, ooh, excuse me. But, ooh, like right there, I tried to drive it in a little deep underneath William. Sorry, William. That was a little close for comfort for the second lap of the first main event of the year. But, hey, we got to move forward. We got to keep on plugging away at this. And now I can kind of get back into my groove. I'm starting to run the right line. I noticed I was watching the features before me, the non-wing feature, and guys were kind of entering up on it in 1 and 2, and that was a little bit better. No one could really enter low into 1 and 2. It was definitely still greasy on the entry, and if you didn't hit it with enough wheel spin in either corner, it would just push you tight straight up into the racetrack, and then boom. There was also a bump on the entry to 3. So that was the biggest kind of thing for me. And one thing with me in the race car is I'm kind of a 7-lap kind of guy. At the end of the year, I started to build, and I got a lot better at being better at the longer runs. But for my first race back, it was definitely something I had to get used to again because we went 25 laps green. So that wasn't, it was definitely a good first race. And with, I believe that's not Colby in front of me. That was, man, I forget who was in the 8 car, the old Jimbo car, but he got a little hiccuped. I noticed that the hole was kind of biting people pretty hard, and my car felt pretty stable through it. So I noticed that he entered lower and I tried to enter higher, but I'm still playing with it. Usually under a yellow, I can spot things like that, especially where Marysville is a darker track. So under a yellow, I like to crack my visor and kind of scope out the track and see where the holes are, and then visualize and go above it, like pack above the hole, pack below the hole, see if it's greasy on the bottom below the hole, if you can make something like that work. 1 and 2 is a little bit more basic, and you can kind of, like how I said earlier in the heat race, you kind of got to play with your foot placement a lot because of how hard the corner and how tight the corner really is. It's definitely a unique track. Both corners are very different, but we're just starting to plug away laps. I know that I'm reeling in, oh, Justin Henry, that's who it is. Sorry, Justin, I messed that up. But we're reeling in Justin. I kind of gave him a little bit of a faint look to the bottom, and now he's starting to run the bottom a little bit more in 1 and 2. And that was actually really beneficial for me because I knew that if I were to drive it in hard on the top of 1 and 2, I would gain a lot of speed and maybe I could make something work in a 3 and 4. So right now I'm trying to read him a little bit because I have a lot of ground to make up on him, but I know that when the time comes, I can really close the gap when he makes a really crucial mistake. So like right there into 1 and 2, I noticed that he's running it really low because I showed him a nose, and now I understand I can make up the most amount of speed in 1 and 2 and maintain in 3 and 4. We're kind of doing the same thing in 3 and 4 where he's letting it float. And right here, I really show him a nose in a 1 and 2, and then the next lap, he gets really defensive. So right there, I kind of feinted it a little bit, and I'm trying to foreshadow a move. So if I can get him to block even more into 1 and 2 and jeopardize his speed, so right there, I'm able to open up my corner so much more than him, get an even bigger run down the backstretch, and boom, now I can place a move into 3 and 4, put him on my right rear, and put him behind me. So that was kind of foreshadowing a little bit where I could pick my moves and think more than just right now, how can I get by him right now? How can I get by him next lap instead of maybe making a mistake and costing myself another position or just something not really going in my favor. I'm trying to put myself in the best position as possible right now. And same thing with Nick. We got some lap cars, so I'm trying to give him some space. It is the first race of the year. Maybe I was hoping he was going to do another Justin Henry move and hit the hole really hard, and as I was cutting down, I could maybe stick a nose underneath him, but it was big time grease on the bottom of 3 and 4, and I would just stand on it and I wouldn't go anywhere. So every time I felt like I had a run on Nick, I would just stand on it in the grease and it wouldn't do me any favors. And now, of course, the GoPro's getting absolutely caked with mud, so let's just do the best to talk over this with memory. But I know that if I want to get Nick, I'm going to have to get all these lap cars behind me. And I know that the race is kind of winding down because we've been going green for so many laps, so it's go time now. I'm entering above the hole, I'm locking my car down with the brakes, so right there the car was really stable, and I know that the very bottom's greasy, so when I'm catching Nick, I'm just trying to run right above the grease and give myself the shortest way around the racetrack and just keep on propelling myself forward, trying to catch him. Right there, I'm trying to drive it in even harder so that way I can maybe gain more speed, more momentum on him. And then we're pretty much doing the same thing in 1 and 2. We're both just running right around the color change, right above the slick. The track was very unique because the bottom was greasy, the middle was slick, and then the top was just a straight up grip lane. And same thing. These laps, I'm just trying to keep on constantly pushing, see what I can get away with the race car, where can I make speed, where can I not. And for some reason, where I feel like I really lacked this race was in 3 and 4. I felt like I would gain on Nick so much on entry to 3 that I could just cut down and go through the grease maybe if he hit the hole. But see, like right there, I had such a monumental run going into 3 because I carried so much speed, so I would hunt myself down with the brakes. Same with 1 and 2, but I really thought I could make something work into 3 and 4 and maybe just throw a big slider on him in 1 and 2, get my nose underneath him, but it never really worked out that way. So we ended up 3rd, starting 5th. What a great way to start the year. And yeah, thank you so much again to Kyle and everyone, Mike, Kate, for giving me the opportunity to start off my year a little bit earlier than I would be if I was running the 3. And next weekend we're going to be at Chico, and I'm really looking forward to getting into the flow of things and getting back into the 2025 race season.